Good morning, scholars. Welcome back to the channel. This morning we're going to be looking at comparing whole numbers. How do we decide which number is bigger than the other? And we're going to use our greater than sign and our less than sign to put in the circle. So it says write greater than or less than in the circles. We're comparing the whole numbers. So we need to first of all be aware of our place value system. The place value system that we use. And I did a video just on the place value system, so if you want to run over to that and bring yourself up to speed and then come back to this one, or you can just stay and you should be fine as well. So what we're doing is we're comparing the numbers based on the digits that they have according to the place value system. So just to recap, remember we have our ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, 100,000, millions, and so on, right? So when we're comparing whole numbers, we have to start at to the left of the number, the first digit in the number, and we have to compare it to the first digit in the other number and to see which place value it's in. What's the value of that digit? So sometimes you might have, well, as we go along, I'll point out, but sometimes you might have the first digit is a bigger digit than the other number, but it doesn't mean it has a bigger value because of the place that it's in, right? So it's the place that gives the digit its value, not just the size, not just the face value of the digit. So let's look, we're comparing 59 to 53. So they both have two digits, right? So we're going to compare the fives. They both have 5 in the tens place, 5 tens. So then we go to the ones place. So if they have the same digit in the same place, then we go to the next one on the right and compare those. So since they're both 50 something, then we have to compare the digit in the ones place. So this has a 9 and this has a 3. We know that 9 is a bigger digit than 3. So since these two are equal, then we can compare the 9 and 3, and we see that 59 is greater than 53. How about 96 and 69? They both have two digits. So let's look. In the tens place, we have a 9. In the tens place here, we have a 6. So they both have only tens and ones. 9 tens, 6 ones. So 96 is a bigger number than 69. 74 and 47. In the ones place, this has more ones than this one. But remember, we start comparing whole numbers from the left. The one that has the bigger place value to the left. So this has a 7 tens, and this has 4 tens. This one is greater than this one. Okay, so far all the numbers to the left have been greater. 25 and 18. In the tens place, so they both have two digits. In the tens place we have a 2. In the tens place here we have a 1. So even though in the ones place this has greater ones than this, 8 ones, 5 ones, but that's not what makes the difference here. The important point is the digit to the left. They both have in the tens place 1. This has a 1 in the tens place. This has a 2. So 2 is bigger than 1. 25 is a greater number than 18. 13 and 30. Two digits, so they both have only tens and ones. So we look to the tens place. This has a 1 in the tens place, and this has a 3 in the tens place. 1 is less than 3. 13 is a smaller number than 30. So we put less than. 13 is a smaller number than 30. 100 and 101. They both have 3 digits, so they have hundreds, tens, ones. In the hundreds place, they both have 1. So we have to go and compare something else. In the tens place, they both have a 0. In the ones place, this has a 0 and this has a 1. 1 is bigger than 0. So 100 is less than 101. 67 and 65. So they both have 6's in the tens place. So then we have to go to the ones place and compare. This has a 7 in the ones place. This has a 5 in the ones place. 7 is more than 5. So 67 is greater than 65. Okay, let's go to the next column. So 283 and 196. They both have 3 digits. Hundreds, tens, ones. So let's compare the hundreds. This has 200. This has 100. 200 greater than 100. So that's the bigger number. 759, 800. 3 digits. So we're comparing the hundreds place. This has 700. This has 800. This is the smaller number. So even though in the 800 there is no 10, no ones, looking at the zeros, you might say, well, that looks like it could be the smaller number because it has so many zeros. No, we have to compare the hundreds place because they both have 3 digits. So we start at the left, 7, 8. This one is a smaller number. 301, 328. So they both are in the 300s. They both have 3 in the hundreds place. So we have to go to the tens place. This has a 0 in the tens place. This has a 2 in the tens place. So this is the smaller number. 101 is less than, 301 is less than 328. Here we have 519 and 62. They are not equally yoked. One has only tens and ones, one has hundreds, tens and ones. So immediately we can see this is the bigger number. This is 500 and something. This is just 6 tens, 60 something. So this is the bigger number. 417, 283. They both have 3 digits. They are both in the hundreds. But this has 400 and something. This has 200 and something. So that means 417 is greater than 283. 175, 571. They both have 3 digits. We're going to compare the hundreds place. This has 100 and something. This has 500 and something. 100 and something, 500 and something. So the 100 is less than the 500. 108, 810. 108, 810. So looking in the hundreds place, this has 100, this has 800. So we know this is a lesser number. Now we get to the thousands. Some of these numbers are in the thousands for us to compare. 1,394 compared with 6,183. So since they both have 4 digits, let's compare the thousand place. This has a 1,000 and this has a 6,000. So this is the lesser number. 1,394 is less than 6,183. 278 compared with 1,376. Immediately, just by looking, we see that this has more digits. This is in the hundreds. This is in the thousands. This is the smaller number. 278 is less than 1,376. 4,138 and 964. This is in the hundreds. This is in the thousands. This is the bigger number. 200 compared with 1,000. Looking at them, you're saying, but this has a 1, that has a 2, and they both have zeros, so maybe that's the smaller number because it just has a 1. But look, it has 4 digits. Even though it has a 1 here, right? Even though it has a 1, it's 1,000. This has a 2, but it's 200. It only has 3 digits. Ones, tens, 100. Right? So this is actually the smaller number. 200 is less than 1,000. 7,416, 8,340. So they are both in the thousand. But this has 7,000 and this has 8,000. 7 is smaller than 8. 7,416 is less than 8,340. 9,145, 286. Immediately we see this is in the thousands. This has 4 digits, 9,000, and this is 200. This is the bigger number. $1,379 compared with 7,391. They both have 4 digits. They are both in the thousand. This has 1,000. This has 7,000. Okay, so 1,000 is less than 7,000. All right, let's put these numbers in order. So arrange in ascending order. So ascending order means from smallest to biggest. Alright, so let's look at this. It says arrange in ascending order. So we know that ascending order means from the smallest to the biggest. So we're given 8 numbers. 3,148, 68, 138, 29, 6,814, 314, 203, and 4. So if we're putting them in ascending order, we know we need to start with the 4, because it has just one digit, it's just 4 ones. So we start with the 4, and then we go to the ones that have tens and 1, so that's 29 and then 68. So after the 4 we have 29, 68. Then we go to the numbers that have 100 places. So we have 314, 138, 203. This is the smallest because it has a 1 in the 100 place. So 138, and then 203, and then 314. Now we have two numbers that are in the thousands. We have 3,148, 6,814. So the 3,000 would be smaller, and then the 6,114. So we have arranged them now in ascending order from the smallest one to the biggest one. Now this instruction says, make the largest number from these digits. So they give us some digits, and we are to rearrange them to make the largest possible number from those digits. So that simply means we have to arrange them in descending order. We have to arrange the digits in descending order. So we have to start with the biggest digit, then the next biggest, then the next biggest, and that's how we would come by the biggest number that we can form from these digits. So we have to start with the largest digit, then the next in line, then the next, right? So for the 9287, again we start with the 9, then the 8, then the 7, then the 2. That's the biggest number we could get by arranging these digits. 804, so we have to start with the 8, but then we have to put the 4 before the 0. So when you're given some digits, random digits, and you're asked to arrange them to form the largest number, start with the largest digit, then the next in line, next in line. If you're asked to arrange them to make the smallest possible number that they can make, start with the smallest digit. Yeah, but you know if it's a 0, you can't start with 0. So the 0 would have to come as the second digit, right? Now the final instruction says which digit in this number has the greatest value. And the number is 1,309. Which of those digits has the greatest value? It didn't say the greatest face value. If it was just the face value, then we'd say it's the 9 because it's 9. The face is just what the digit is. And 9 there, in our system, 9 is the highest single digit. But the actual value of the digit, depends on the place that it's in. So here the 9 actually has the smallest value. The 0 is just there to hold the tens place, right? So they're saying there's no tens. But in terms of the value of the digits, the 9, this is 9 ones. 9 ones. 300 and 1,000. So the 1 has a bigger value in this number than the 9 or than the 3 because it represents 1,000. The 9 just represents 9 ones. The 3 has a bigger value than the 9 too because the 3 in this number represents 3 hundredths, whereas the 9 just represents 9 ones. So even though 9 has a bigger face value, as a digit is the biggest single digit we can have in our decimal system, in this number, the 9 is in the ones place. It's 9 ones. So it's the smallest value here. even compared to the 0, because the 0 is holding the tens place. The 0 is saying there are no tens. There are no tens, but the highest ones we can have is 9 ones, right? So it's the smallest value here. The 3 is next, and then the 1,000. The 1 has a greater value. Alright, so if you have benefited from this video, just drop a comment to say, thank you, miss, I've learned something. And I would love for you to share this video with as many students as you can so that they too may benefit from the information. If you would like me to do other videos on topics that you have not seen in the catalog as yet, just drop a comment and let me know, and I will certainly do that video for you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you can be notified when new videos come out. So my scholars, I'll see you in the next video.